Alright, if your photos aren't coming out the way you want, I'm willing to bet it's not your camera. It's your composition. And before you click away thinking this is another rule of thirds video, I promise you it's not. These are 5 composition tips you don't hear often, and I'm willing to bet they will fix what's wrong with your photo. Hi, I'm Kieran. I've been shooting for almost 10 years, and I wish that someone was there to tell me these things, because I had to do hours and hours of research to find these tips. But I'm gonna give them to you right now. Alright, tip number 1, add triangles. Fastest way you can make your images feel more stable, more dynamic, and more intentional is with triangles. You can form triangles through faces, shadows, cars. Some images will have more obvious triangles than others. Some triangles are literally in the image, which you can see, and some are subtly laid out by points within the image. Although at first it might be hard to find these triangles when shooting, the longer you shoot, the more natural it'll become. Alright, tip number 2 is edge control. A lot of the times, composition mistakes don't just happen in the center of the image, they happen on the edges. Whether it's poles, bright objects, blobs creeping into the corners. Having these in the image will instantly make people's eyes wander right from your subject and out of the frame. And that's a big no. When photographing, make sure to scan the edges of your composition. If you notice things in the frame, you should probably move to try and keep them out. And worst case scenario, Photoshop them out. Alright, tip number 3 is negative space control. Negative space isn't always just empty space, it's controlling that empty space. A lot of people either utilize negative space too much and they have too much empty space, or they have way too many objects in the frame and it's too distracting and there's not enough room to actually let your subject breathe. Empty space should direct attention, create contrast, and it should make the subject feel intentional and not small. A big misconception with negative space is that it just means you have empty space. You actually need to intentionally use this space, or else it is literally just nothing. So, look at your images, see if maybe you're using too much negative space, maybe you're using too little. Try and figure out where the balance is that works for you. Alright, tip number 4 is foreground weight. Having depth in your image is not just about having blur. You actually have to have something in the foreground to give it weight, whether it's dark objects, shadows, partial objects, walls, framing. This will all help give the image depth and keep your images from looking flat. Alright, and tip number 5 is visual hierarchy. Now with this, you want to make sure that the thing that matters most is clear. You don't want to have 5 or 4 things competing with your subject. Everything else in the image should support your subject. Even when it comes down to editing, your sharpness, your contrast, your shadows, these things should all support the actual subject in the image. A great way to do this is natural framing, shallow depth of field, making sure there's no distracting objects, and when you're editing, make sure that your sharpness, contrast, shadows all push towards your subject and don't end up distracting. So with that, that's my 5 composition tips that I think might help you, and I encourage you to go give it a shot. If you guys liked the video, please make sure to like and subscribe, maybe send a comment down there, and I hope you guys have a good one.